coworker is an intelligent customer success partner.
Welcome to AI and the Future of Revenue Retention podcast, where we explore how AI is transforming customer success and revenue growth. I'm Sushil, founder of Coworker. We work with revenue and customer success leaders to improve revenue retention using AI. Let's get started. Today, I'm joined by Frank Wilde, a managing director, CEO, and former naval officer who has spent 20 years building revenue engines for high growth SaaS and AI ML companies, driving GTM strategies and AI native transformation that turns complex technology into measurable business outcome. All right. Hey, Frank, welcome to our podcast. Glad to have you in.
Oh, good stuff. Sushil, great to meet you. Great to be here today.
Great. To start with, we'd love to know a little bit more about you so that our viewers will know whom they are listening to.
So, Frank Wilde, I've spent my career in software development and consulting. I initially was a software developer and then I shifted over into high tech. So, I was at Dell, Apple, and SAP before launching Republic AI. So, we launched Republic 4 years ago. And really, the focus has been on small and medium business, helping them leverage AI, data, analytics to be that much more impactful in their business. So with performance marketing, with CRM, with customer success, really that full life cycle, really looking at ways that they could, be data driven in how they operate.
Awesome. Great. So from that perspective, I know you have worked with many customers, right? Small, medium companies, and you have worked with them from customer success, post-sale engagement perspective. So what have you seen what kind of a revenue retention strategy has been working for them or not working for them?
Well, I would say one of the key things is just helping them understand what's available. Because when you look at AI, when you look at machine learning, a number of small and medium customers, I work with folks in retail, I work with real estate, I work with a number of small manufacturing clients, right? And for the most part, one of the key challenges that they have is their IT organization really is just designed to keep the lights on, right? They're not really helping them innovate. They're not helping them understand, how can I, really engage with my customers in a new way? How can I use OpenClaw, for example, to automate some of the tasks that I've been running in terms of, email campaigns or customer engagement? So just that core building block of getting customers to understand what's available, I would say is kind of the first, stepping stone. From there, really the sky's the limit. It's so exciting when you see a small business owner, they may, be directly engaging with their customers, or they may have a small kind of sales or marketing team that helps them. But for the most part, it's so exciting when they can see the art of the possible and help them get out of kind of the day-to-day grind of sending emails or being able to put together customer orders. If that proposal, for example, can be generated, with Gemini or with ChatGPT, it really frees them up to spend time with their customers doing value add work as opposed to back office, doing invoicing or proposal development, which, can, really take up an awful lot of time and not, you don't often see kind of the impact to the bottom line, move it forward. So that's one of the things I very much enjoy.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. So when you work with them, I mean, I know always the growth for growth, existing customer is very important for them, right? Their customers, right?
Yes.
So from upsell or cross sell or from retention as well, right? So I'm sure a lot of them have a recurring revenue from their existing customers, right? So how would they know if their customers are getting engaged or if they are potential risks of churn or there is a potential opportunity for upsell and cross sell? How do generally they know about that? How do they find out?
Well, that's one of the things. A lot of time they're reactive. They lose that customer or they leave, and it's not. They don't really see the signals or it's not clear. Kind of the predictive measures around when that's likely going to happen. So one of the things that I've helped customers put in place, like with one telco customer, for example, a regional telco, had created a scoring methodology to be able to look at and use machine learning to be able to identify customer patterns and behaviors. So they had about 300,000 customers in two different markets. And one of the challenges was they didn't really understand when they were going to lose a customer. Was it because of pricing, or was it a service issue, or did a competitor come in with a better offer that they weren't aware of? So one of the things that we put in place, and we did this in a short, just 2 to 3 week window, it didn't take a lot of time, but we were able to look at, and put a data-driven approach, essentially a scorecard for that customer to identify, well, how often did that customer call in? How often did they ask about a pricing change? How often did they ask about a service issue? And it really gave them an overall framework where they could pull together their pricing, their marketing, and their customer success teams and look at things through a common lens, because even internally they'd been very much siloed. So that's the type of example where, we were able to help them, eliminate, quite a bit of churn, because we were able to give them a set of tools that said, here's the customers that are most likely to leave in the next 90 days, right? And that became very powerful because rather than being reactive, you could actually reach out to those customers that are most at risk and say, you're a valued customer. We really want to keep you. So whether it's a pricing change, whether it's, even just a simple thank you for being a customer, it really changed the dynamic. And they were able to eliminate quite a bit of that churn just by being proactive and using, AI and machine learning in a very light touch way. So that's the type of work I very much enjoy, is because it doesn't take a lot of effort. It did take quite a bit of coordination because we needed to get data from marketing, from
Sure.
pricing, from sales that they didn't even themselves look at through a common lens. So the bit of heavy lifting, which only took about a week, week and a half, was to get the data feeds in place, look at those and put together a few pipelines that they ultimately could turn into more of a recurring, kind of, dashboard or, scorecard for them. So that's the kind of work that I just very much
Sure.
enjoy.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, you're right. I mean, basically, the most of the time, people have their own siloed view of the customer, right? And the shared view is what ultimately we need in organization, and that's always the challenging part of it. One from the data perspective, another visualizing the data using machine learning, AI, or even simpler ones, right? So that's great. Um, so now, since they have, like, let's say one challenge is the to find out, is there opportunity or is there a risk? And next is once they know it and they have to execute on it, right? Basically, they call it signal to action time, right? They want to reduce that time. What you have seen in the market, in your customer base, what are the challenges from knowing that something is happening, the signal, to actually executing and engaging the customer? What are some challenges they have from the efficiency perspective, from the lead time perspective?
I would say one of the key challenges is just valuing the opportunity. So having a very light touch way to be able to rank prioritize either customers or different kind of marketing and customer success, type strategies that you can put in place and being able to value those. I mean, when I was at Apple, for example, it amazed me that Apple didn't have, kind of a clear business case methodology. And one of the things that my team helped put in place when we were there was we looked at how could we identify, well, what's the rank order or priority or value for a given strategy or a given approach. So I've taken that same thinking into the small and medium business space to be able to help business owners as well as kind of leaders that are in that space think about, well, what's the key value? So what's your performance marketing, for example, spend, and what's the planned uplift with a few enhancements or changes? When you look at CRM, when you look at customer success, looking at those through kind of a light touch cost benefit analysis, and it doesn't take a lot of effort, but just putting kind of pen to paper around what the relative value is allows a small organization, a small business to be able to figure out, well, where should I, spend my time?
Mhm.
So, if it's a light touch CRM enhancement in HubSpot, for example, if it only took a few hours to do, but all of a sudden it's had the downstream effect that you've improved, your customer retention or improved that customer sat and driven, 8 or 10 points in NPS, that becomes very powerful. And it was a very simple thing to do. So one of the things I also enjoy, laying out with kind of our customers is, 6, 8, 10 different kind of light touch strategies or enhancements that we could put in place either in the short term, medium, or long term. So we give them, kind of a light touch roadmap, which a lot of times most of these business owners are so inundated with handling customer requests, billing, inventory management. They're doing so many different things that they don't have the time to focus. So helping them with just some light touch tools that give them, kind of a view of what the next 30, 60, 90 days looks like and how much complexity or cost is associated with there really takes a lot of their stress away because they're able to see, well, where, and pull the levers on what's going to be the most impactful for their business.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. Yeah, that's great. So I think, I mean, we talked about AI a little bit here and there, but if you have to really focus on AI and let's say, how can we leverage this AI in post sale, number one. Number two, where are they right now? Most of the time when you see customers, where are they in the journey? Like, are they ready to take on AI, or they're like kind of doubtful about what AI can do, and kind of a outcome that they can get? Where they are in their journey on the AI, and how much of
Well,
resistance that you see?
Well, that's where I've seen, even just like I mentioned, around just having a clear understanding of what AI entails. Because when you think about AI, you know, most, most small companies don't really understand what the capabilities are. So like RPA, like robotic process automation, or machine learning, or AI itself. I mean, they're really, you know, each one of those different components or different strategies can be, exactly what an organization needs and doesn't require a great deal of time and effort. Like to put RPA in place, for example, like if I need to automate billing or if I need to automate, specific, messages going out to a given customer base, if I can do that in a couple of hours and use RPA, that could be, worth its weight in gold. So you don't need to be fully knowledgeable around, a deep machine learning toolkit or how to handle the analytics and the data pipelines. So really understanding what outcome first that the client wants to, accomplish. So whether it's increasing revenue, whether it's improving customer retention, really I like to start with what's the outcome we want to drive and then flow into the process and ultimately the tools that then come from there. So most, small businesses really want to jump to the technology. They really heard, the latest thing in OpenClaw, or they really want to dive into a predictive analytics library. Well, is that really, where you need to focus? In general, it's the outcome that I like to focus on and then flow into the way to accomplish that.
No, that's true. Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes we get so carried away with new tools, new methodology, new processes, and we just like as if the goal is to obtain that, not the business outcome, right? So that's what we
Exactly.
need to keep on reminding ourselves. Adopting tool is not the outcome, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Getting your business problem solved is the outcome that we're looking for. Um, so how would we measure if AI implementation, AI adoption in some of these organizations has been successful? What method or what KPIs or anything that you have used? I mean, it doesn't have to be always sophisticated KPIs, right? Anything that tells the business owner, your customers that yep, the adoption has been successful. Here's the outcome. Here's the needle it has moved. So, what are some of the things that you have adopted?
So one of the things, I mean, absolutely, we've looked at is just, what have been what's been the cost structure or the improvement to the cost structure for the business. Like I had worked with a large bakery, for example, and they were using Excel to manage when they deployed or when they, baked simple things, cookies, cakes, bread. Well, it wasn't matching up with customer demand. I mean, they were wasting about $400,000 per year per location in wasted, and spoilage. So, one of the things we did was we helped them shift in a very short period of time. We did this project in about 3, 4 weeks. We helped them match up customer demand with their baking schedule. And it was amazing. I mean, so that's the type of, it's a very clear indicator of what your cost structure is when you can say, look, per location, we save $400,000 in, material costs. So I would say the cost structure is a key component. What are you able to do in terms of top line revenue growth? I mean, that's very easy to manage or track over time. So did we land more customers? Did we improve our cycle time for, engaging with a given proposal or pursuit? Like if I, like one of my customers was a sign company, for example, did we help them close the deals rather than taking 90 days? Were we able to do it in 60, right? That's a significant, shift forward in, being able to close deals that they can take that same amount of time, that extra month for other clients, whether it's value add customer success work, whether it's landing new pursuits. So that's the type of metrics and the approach that I very much enjoy
Mhm.
doing, which, like you said, it doesn't require a great deal of complexity. I mean, you don't need a full scorecard or
Yeah.
Tableau sitting on top of it to be able to see. In short order, you can really see what your top line revenue growth has been, what your turnover has been for customers, what's your cost structure look like, and have we improved that similar to the bakery? So in short order, it's very easy to see or very straightforward to be able to see the impact that, AI, machine learning, some of the RPA tools, have on the business.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. Sometimes we do a little bit of analysis paralysis, right? Oh, we need to understand the progress. Oh, let's do analysis, and this is gonna take more time than actually implementing it. No, that's great. With your experience, which are the verticals that are more, based on your experience, which are more kind of gravitate towards or more open to AI versus which are a little bit shy on AI? I mean, any such data that you have or not really?
I would say that, I mean, when I look at some of these light manufacturing or some of the manufacturing customers, I mean, they're very much focused around process improvement. So when you think about,
Mhm.
ingrained in their kind of engineering culture,
Yep.
they're very much already focused on, what's that next improvement that I could have. And one of the key challenges, I mean, they're able to adopt, analytics and kind of data management and some of the, AI and ML capabilities to be able to help improve their supply chain and kind of their manufacturing operations. But the challenge that I'm seeing is they often don't have kind of a clear view of how that's going to help them with with a go-to-market or with a customer success strategy. So that's where it's very interesting that you've got, it's like, taking, a group of engineers, that are building cars, for example. They may know how to use, software to improve that process, but when it comes to marketing and selling those cars, that's a significant leap or jump for them. So that's where I've been able to drop, kind of Republic AI into the mix to be able to help them shape what their go-to-market and what their customer success strategy is, because it requires a lot of the same tooling and the same mindset, but it's a slightly different approach that, they don't often have in-house. So because they often are focused on how do they better produce or better run their manufacturing lines, that's kind of a key value prop that I've been able to bring to the table, which to be honest with you, surprised me a little bit. You would think that if they're able to use software in-house, that they could also use it customer facing, and that's not always the case.
Mhm. Thank you. That's really great insight. Great. Anything else that you'd like to add before we conclude?
Just the one piece that I would say, particularly for small and medium business, there's a great deal of support out there to be able to learn just the basics. And you don't need a PhD in AI to be able to leverage AI moving forward. There just needs to be the time spent to invest both for the individual, kind of the company owner as well as kind of their core team. So I would make that investment, and that's one of the things that Republic AI is uniquely suited for, is how to help organizations think very differently with a very small time commitment to be able to unlock significant revenue growth, operational savings, and kind of customer success savings moving forward.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Frank, for your time. Really appreciate it. I'm sure our viewers will kind of get a lot of insights from our discussion today. So thank you again. Really appreciate it. Enjoyed
All right,
talking
good
with you.
stuff. Thanks,
Thank you.
Sushil. This is great.
Thank you.
Feel free to contact us if you want to learn more about how AI can help customer success.